firewall is a set of related programs located at a network gateway server that protects the resources of a private network from users from other networks.
Ah, the internet. Most of it is awesome. Some of it, not quite. Your business needs it to survive, let alone thrive. And for that to happen, you need to make sure this gets in and this stays out. At first, this was pretty obvious. So security would open ports for the good stuff and close ports for what wasn't. A simple firewall kept out the bad while letting in the good. But these guys got sneaky. They started directing bad stuff to the approved roads and burying it in approved traffic to sneak past filters. So that wall isn't so useful anymore, because it really didn't understand the traffic. You could build a wall that blocks more, but that would just hurt your business, and maybe create even more hassle for you. All of which still doesn't address the fact that this guy isn't telling you a thing, which leaves you in the dark and totally vulnerable. What if your firewall didn't just sit there, but went out and protected you? It can. While old security systems look for well-known threats within traffic that behaves predictably, Palo Alto Networks actively inspects, deconstructs, and identifies all traffic on all ports all the time, incoming or outgoing. So now malicious traffic gets blocked because it has no place to hide, while approved traffic always gets through. Plus, this is the genius part. Palo Alto Networks studies all traffic and files not on how they look, but on what they do. It tests unknown files in a safe environment to find malware that has never been seen before, then remembers that for the future. Smart, right? Plus, everything is presented to you in a clear, comprehensible interface, so you can always allow the applications you need, stop even the threats that are completely new or trying to hide, and know who's responsible for all traffic. Which means your business isn't just protected, it's empowered and safely enabled. And you have the tools you need to keep it that way.
Types of firewalls and their functions. First type is personal firewalls are designed to protect a single host from unauthorized access. They can take the form of software or hardware. Type 2 is network firewalls that protect the whole network from unauthorized access. They can be a dedicated appliance hardware which is installed on the system or a software application or an integration of the two. Type 3 is software firewall applications that are installed on top of the operating system and can be configured for more than one purpose including spam filter and DNS server. Type 4 is hardware firewalls that dedicated appliances that physically sit between two networks, for example, the internet and the organization's network. Type 5 is packet filtering firewall that analyze network traffic at the transport layer. It will look at each packet entering or leaving the network and accepts or rejects it based on user-defined rules. Packet filters typically enable you to permit or deny the data flow based on the following controls. Source of the packet address. Destination of the packet address. Type of transport layer TCP. Transport layer source port. Transport layer destination port. Type 6 is circuit-level gateway that operates at the session layer of the OC model, examining each connection to ensure that it follows a legitimate handshake. For the transport layer protocol being used, usually TCP. Type 7 is application-level firewalls or proxy firewalls that work at the application layer of the OC model by forcing both sides of communication to the proxy. It applies security mechanisms to specific applications, such as FTP and Telnet servers. Type 8 is network address translation. Is a functionality to hide the true address of protected hosts. Originally, the NAT function was developed to address the limited number of routable addresses that could be used or assigned to companies or individuals, as well as reduce both the amount and therefore cost of obtaining enough public addresses for every computer in an organization. Finally, stateful inspection that occurs when certain key parts of packets are compared to a database of trusted information. The advantage is that firewall blocks evil packets from being permitted to reach a place where they can do harm. The key issue is not whether to block harmful packets, but where to block them. The individual system's operating system-based firewall can be configured to provide a great deal of security, but a network-based firewall such as a router can protect multiple systems simultaneously. The disadvantage is filtering by a software firewall can degrade your system's performance because it's a demanding task to examine every packet of data. A network firewall also can lend users a false sense of security, encouraging them not to maintain security at the machine level. If the network firewall fails or is not configured properly, this could prove disastrous.